The latest update on the negotiations of the infrastructure package and the stimulus package, otherwise known as the American Families Plan, where we could see the infamous stimulus check number 4 have an appearance, as well as those monthly stimulus checks that may also show up in there. Let's talk through all the latest details. Welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here. As you know, I am your daily advocate. If you haven't done so already, or if you happen to be new here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I am back every single day to keep you updated through these videos. Thanks again for your support, and let's jump into this. So as of right now, Democrats and Republicans are still trying to figure out if they can come together on a bipartisan basis to push through this next infrastructure package. Now, this is just in reference to the first portion of the package, the infrastructure one, whereas the American Family Plan, it's basically already a done deal that they're going to do that thing with budget reconciliation. However, you might be thinking, well, why do we need to figure out if they're going to come together on a bipartisan basis for the first portion then? Well, the problem with that is we need to figure out if they're going to come together, because if they don't come together, Democrats may just bundle all of this together as one massive $4.1 trillion package and jam it through with budget reconciliation. So they need to figure out, are we going to keep these things split up into two separate packages and negotiate on one and work together and then push the other one through with budget recon? Or how are we going to approach this? Well, the deadline is looming near. Why do I say that? Because they've kind of drawn a line in the sand. The end of May is when they want to have substantial progress on the negotiations. Well, the end of May is only a little over a week away from right now. So they are really running out of time. They're running down the clock. Sound familiar? Does anybody remember this from last year? I mean, seriously, it seemed like everything they did, they ran it down to the clock, and then what did they do? They usually had to have some kind of extension to push it out a little bit further so that they could continue to waste even more time. Yeah, sounding pretty familiar, right, from last year? There's actually some other similarities here that we saw last year as well, which I'll talk about in just a second. However, the sticking points that they have right now is trying to figure out the definition of infrastructure and the top line number. So Mitch McConnell has basically said Republicans are willing to go up to about $800 to maybe even $900 billion, whereas we know that Democrats are a little over $2 trillion, about $2.3 trillion. Well, the biggest point about all of this is they're trying to figure out, like, how do we even define infrastructure? Their definitions are so far apart as how they're actually going to define infrastructure and what they actually can contain in this bill. So we'll have to continue watching this, but I will keep you posted either way. But like we know, this is going to determine the fate going forward of these massive packages. Regardless, though, the second portion, the American Families Plan, that is the one where we are expecting stimulus check number 4 on the federal level to make an appearance, right? He's going to pop out on the stage like a cameo, right? Hey, hello, check at me. I'm stimulus check number 4. You know him? Yeah, we're waiting for him to pop out on the stage and make a nice little appearance for us. Maybe he will be joined by his little buddies called monthly checks. Wouldn't that be awesome? Either way, we're not sure on that quite yet. However, I kind of anticipate at a minimum we're going to see a 4th stimulus check make its appearance in that American Families Plan. So let's talk through this a little bit further and some of the similarities that we are seeing from last year. So everybody remembers 2020, right? A pretty memorable year. We're probably never going to forget that one. Even 2021 so far has been pretty interesting. However, what are some of the similarities we're seeing? Well, the back and forth between the two parties. Running out the clock, basically just wasting time, going back and forth, proposal after proposal, and being miles and miles apart. I mean, like, we shouldn't even call it miles. I mean, we're like light years apart from what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, the two parties are like basically opposite sides of the spectrum. Sound familiar from last year? Remember that? Basically all of last summer, we spent all summer going back and forth with all these proposals saying, we're offering this, well, we're offering that, and we can't come together on this. Let's take a month recess. Sound familiar? Yeah. So what's happening here is we're having all this back and forth, and at the same time, they're running out the clock. However, the same thing happened last year. During this period where there was all of this indecision, what did we start to see all the states do? Well, let me take that back. It wasn't all of the states. There were a large portion of the states. There was a big percentage of states at that time last summer, and I think it was even like early fall, where a bunch of states were coming out, and guess what they were doing? They were offering stimulus checks to their residents on the state level. What are we seeing right now? Did you watch my video from this morning? I hope so, because in that video, we talked about a few different state programs right now that are offering a few different incentives for getting vaccinations, stimulus checks on the state level, hiring bonuses, like signing bonuses. There's so many different programs right now to distribute money to the people, like residents of different states, just residents as a whole. And this is all on the state level for the most part. Well, it is on the state level. It's actually being funded by the Treasury because back in that last stimulus package, the $1.9 trillion, there was $350 billion in there allocated for states and local governments, states, counties, and cities. Well, basically, the Treasury is pumping all that money out, and the states are saying, hey, let's give it back to the people because we recognize the people actually need some extra support right now. What's funny about this, it's funny, like not funny, but it's funny in that way, like what a coincidence kind of thing, is we saw this exact same thing happen last year. Late last summer and into the fall, we saw the same thing happen before Congress came together to approve stimulus check number 2. Remember that? So it's almost like, I've been saying this for, I don't know, a couple weeks now. I seriously think, with all the research that I do and everything that I'm seeing, I seriously think that they are setting the stage for stimulus check number 4. Are they going to have recurring stimulus checks, like monthly stimulus checks? I don't know that yet. Honestly, I'm just being totally real with you right now. I do not know that yet. There are many proposals on the table right now. In fact, there are now 80 people in Congress. There's 54 Democrats in the House of Representatives. There's 20 senators, obviously, in the Senate, right? And then there's 6 Democrats, once again, in the House Ways and Means Committee. A total of 80 members across the board with all these people that are submitting these letters to the president and vice president, calling on them to include monthly stimulus checks in this Americans Families Plan, as well as even a 4th stimulus check. There's actually even calls for a 5th stimulus check. This is before they even know if they're going to have a 4th one. So I don't know if there's going to be a monthly stimulus check that's going to pop out here anytime soon. However, there's so much push right now for a 4th stimulus check. So I just feel like with all the evidence that I'm seeing, everything that I'm seeing out there right now, I feel like I'd be absolutely shocked if I didn't see a 4th stimulus check make an appearance into the American Families Plan. Now, I've seen some people reach out and say, do you think they're going to do it as a standalone bill, stimulus checks? No, they're not. Highly unlikely. There's just no way, honestly. Here's why. Because they would try to need to push that thing through with bipartisan support, and it wouldn't get it. It wouldn't get bipartisan support. However, there's nothing saying that they cannot add it into the American Families Plan, the second portion of the infrastructure package, otherwise known as the one that focuses on social programs. There's nothing saying that they cannot add it there. So I would anticipate 100% it's going to be added there. And as we've said here over the last couple of days, basically the administration came out and said, hey, if Congress wants another stimulus check, we're going to leave it up to them. Guess what Congress is going to do? If they go budget reconciliation on the American Families Plan, you better believe there's going to be stimulus checks in there. At what amount? I don't know. Who's it going to reach? Not really sure. How much? Don't know. When's it going to be distributed? I don't know that. Nobody knows that yet. But you can probably better believe it's probably going to be in there with all of this evidence popping up. But either way, I wanted to give you a quick update on the infrastructure package. As I've been telling you for, I don't know, a couple weeks now since we've been talking about this thing, I said I will keep you posted as we get further information. But honestly, as of right now, they're just kind of going back and forth, running the clock down. It's like we're in some kind of game, like a football game or something where you just run the clock down on purpose so that you can win the game. Kind of the same thing. And again, that is not me taking sides. I mean, it's just how they do it. I mean, they've done it for years, and they're doing it once again, just kind of kicking the can down the road and just kind of like, wait, what? We're supposed to be doing something here? Wait, what? Who? You know what I mean? But it's both parties, really. But here's what else is interesting, and I've read this a couple times, and who knows if there's any truth to this. But some people are saying maybe they're going to come together on a bipartisan basis, whittle the first package down to maybe 800 billion, come up together with a deal and everything looks good, everybody's happy, they got a bipartisan deal, everybody's happy, and then they come together with the second portion, the American Families Plan, and everything that they didn't get in the first portion, they just pile it into the second one and then push it through with budget reconciliation. Again, there's nothing saying that they can't do that. Maybe they will. They'll look like heroes on paper if they come together on a bipartisan basis, but then when it comes down to it, they just pile it all in the second one. I mean, who knows? It could happen. You never know. So either way, I will keep you posted on all this. I know it's a confusing time right now, but either way, right now, during this period, while we are waiting, there are a lot of different programs out there on the state level. I will continue to keep you updated. I will continue to keep you posted so you can take advantage of these programs, because usually they only have limited amounts of money, and you got to get that money as quickly as possible, because once it's gone, it's kind of gone. So you got to get in line right away, and I will keep you updated as we get further announcements out of the states, counties, localities, whatever like that. But if there's any in your area that you know about that I haven't talked about yet, please leave a comment down below to help everybody else out that may be in your general area. Thanks again, everybody. You're awesome. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video, and I will continue to be here for you every single day as your daily advocate. Thanks again. You're awesome. Check out some other videos here as well. Thank you. I'll see you later.